It's said that small caps lead, and looking at the daily chart here of the IWM, which is small caps, they currently sit below all of the moving averages. And Friday's session did close with a sharp rally, so there is some room for some upside maybe before a continued downtrend. If the markets are indeed starting to roll over, it could take a few weeks to play out. And here's the year-to-date performance for the 11 sectors of the S&P 500. The laggards are consumer discretionary and tech, which are some of the least defensive sectors. This could signal a risk-off period continuing. This is visualized a different way over the last 10 weeks. We can see the trends changing. You can see those that were leading are now weakening, and those that were lagging are now improving. This is the weekly S&P 500 scroll for the week ending February 28th. And I just looked through all the charts on a weekly basis, see if there were any buy or sell signals triggered. If the stocks you're following are not listed here, it doesn't mean they're not bullish or bearish. It just means there hasn't been a buy signal by the indicators that I'm using. And a disclaimer that every investment choice you make in your account is yours. Here's the weekly trade list idea. You first see the add and buy signals, and then the trim and sell signals. You're welcome to pause it here if you want to check those out. I urge you to develop some guidelines or rules that work for you prior to entering any trades, and these are the main guidelines that I follow. It's important to look ahead at big events, and Monday we have ISM Manufacturing PMI, Wednesday is ISM Services PMI, Friday non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, and the Fed Chair Powell speech. All of those could be market movers. First chart here is a sell or trim signal for CTSH, that's Cognizant Technology Solutions Corp. It's just a trim or a sell when the commodity channel index passes down through this upper line, and also volume has pointed down, and we're seeing some higher volume on the selling side. So could be some more downside. The next moving average for the weekly time frame is at $80. If we break through that, we'll probably come down here and test those in the 70s. So could be some continued downside. In the past, this has been a pretty good indicator for getting out of some downside action. A bullish looking chart here, Disney, symbol DIS, and it looks like it's about to break through the 200 weekly moving average, exponential moving average. Volume is ever so slightly starting to turn up, and the commodity channel index is pointing up. It didn't come all the way down below like it did back here, but we fought through some moving averages on really long-term time frames, and it looks like we're getting ready to break out on Disney. Next up is another bullish indicator. It's FICO, and the weekly commodity channel index turned up late February, and we're coming into some resistance here on the 20 EMA, but we're over all the other moving averages. So if we drop down below the 5 EMA again, which is at 1854, this could negate this move, but volume is starting to turn up, and it's looking pretty bullish long-term, in a long-term uptrend. Huntington Ingalls is one that looks like it's maybe ready for a bullish reversal here. It's been in a downtrend for probably 6 months or so, and we've recently got back above the 5 EMA, which is at 175. It is just kind of sitting above that right now, but the volume, on balance volume, has turned up, and relative strength index coming off of a low, and you're about to get a bullish cross on the MACD. Everything kind of looks like it's starting to turn up here, slow stow. Price momentum oscillator starting to curl up, and you got a positive divergence in the commodity channel index. Lower low here, higher low here. Kimco Realty Corp, ticker symbol KIM, it's above its long-term moving averages. They're all sloping up, and we came into the 50 EMA, and we bounced slightly off of that. We're currently trying to get back above the 5 EMA, so I would wait until we close above that on the weekly time frame. But commodity channel index turning up, volume looks like it wants to turn up. MACD isn't quite to the point where it's curling up yet. Slow stow hasn't quite turned up, so this one might be a little early, but one to watch. Might come down here into these other moving averages in the 20s. Might be a good time to add. This one's another sell signal. It's for Lam Research Corp, ticker symbol LRCX. It's just sitting above the 100-day EMA at 76.71, and if it breaks through that, we're looking at 62.5, 65 for the next support. In terms of moving averages, the on balance volume has started to turn down, Getting some negative divergences on the MACD, starting to turn down, slow stow pointing down. Could continue to correct here. On the daily chart, it looked pretty similar. I'm working on putting together a weekly trade idea list, and I'm going to deliver that via Patreon. It'll be a document that you receive, and it'll show the different ticker symbols and the charts for those, and you can see if those align with your perspectives and give you some ideas on trades to make.